Now?
Yeah.
Now I'm 142, bro.
132.
142.
142.
142.
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with Andrew Jacked. Specifically this part from his recent YouTube video where he reveals that he weighs 313 pounds at 6 weeks out of this upcoming Arnold Classic. And although he hasn't been posting any physique updates, the sheer size of this man, even in those baggy clothes, that makes it quite clear that he's gonna be the biggest man on the stage, along with the reigning Miss Olympia, Samson Dauda. Not that the weight matters a lot, but if Andrew is able to come in bigger as well as shredded the way he did for last year's Texas Pro, this will obviously go in his favor. And for those of you guys who are wondering, no, they are not looking to play the size game. And that is quite a normal weight for a guy like Andrew Jacked at 6 weeks out. I believe he weighed somewhere in the high 290s for last year's Texas Pro. And looking at him, not being able to duplicate that same look for the Olympia last year, that was kind of disappointing. But as of right now, the man is looking very fresh, very motivated to redeem himself and show up a lot better. Now in terms of the aesthetics, the bone structure, along with that height, Andrew Jack is just in a league of his own. And that is why he will always be a very dangerous bodybuilder in any show that he enters, in any kind of lineup, whether that is the Olympia or the Arnold. So the big mistake that Andrew and his coach Chris Aceto made for the Olympia last year, that was try to come in too heavy. And Andrew has said it multiple times after the Olympia last year that any more size, that is the least of his concern. He doesn't want to play that size game and he wants to come in shredded and absolutely ripped. But the question right now is that if he actually comes in ripped, will he be able to hold on to all that wow factor? Next up, we have the physique update from 2023 Meso Olympia champion Derek Lunsford. So you have got to admit that Derek has been absolutely killing all those workouts with Fabrico and is looking very round and big at 6 weeks out of this upcoming Arnold. Now if we have to take a bet, Derek is probably gonna be the most right guy on this upcoming Arnold Classic stage, and that is just based on the past showings. Didn't we just kept on saying before the Olympia last year that no matter what happens, Samson Dauda will never be able to match either Derek or Hadi in that conditioning aspect. And even though Samson won the Olympia last year, and the man 100% deserved that, but still he wasn't the most shredded guy on that stage. It was a slightly off version of Derek that we saw at the Olympia last year. But still, he looked pretty damn impressive, except for his quads from the front. So that operation of getting shredded, that has started once again for Derek at 6 weeks out mark. And one thing is absolutely guaranteed for this upcoming Arnold. We are gonna see a bigger and a fuller version of Derek to step on the stage. Because these guys tried to play too safe for the Olympia last year. And that obviously did not pay off. In fact, that actually backfired. Now Derek has that added density on his chest and shoulders that he put on last year. And he just needs to go back to that 2023 Olympia look. Because with all those improvements that he made after the Olympia 2023, if he can bring that same conditioning with all that added size, just imagine Derek going into his first ever Arnold and winning it on his first try, proving all the predictions wrong. And not just that, beating the reigning Olympia champion Samson Dauda. Meso Olympia Signature Series is now live on hostile.com. Use the code FAZI10 to get 10% discount and click the arrow below to check out all the Hostile products. Next up, we have an update from the mutant Nick Walker. So it is no exaggeration in saying that Nick's legs from this side, they are probably one of the best in the world right now. And that along with the muscularity that he has in his upper body, his width, that makes his side chest a very strong pose for him. Although he was put under immense pressure by a guy like Martin Fitzwater at the New York Pro last year, that even Tal Mannion pointed out that Nick wasn't hitting that pose the way he used to in that correct form, especially at the finals of that show. Now that obviously wasn't the best of Nick Walker, and he is so confident right now that he is gonna beat that look by a mile. Because the thing is he has to, because he himself knows that physique that he presented at the New York Pro last year, that wasn't worthy of placing top 3 in the world, and everyone admitted that afterwards. So there are gonna be some real answers in respect to some of these top guys in 2025. because we saw some major shifts in coaching and in placings as well. So Nick Walker, for the very first time in his career, he's been coached by a different coach than Matt Jensen. So how will that play out, especially on the big stage? That is a big question mark. Now Nick was extremely satisfied with the way he looked during this offseason, especially at the peak of his offseason, because he kept it pretty clean at more than 300 pounds. And this is a guy whose height is 5'6", so that is a monstrous amount of weight for a guy like Nick. So I for one am very excited to see how these upcoming weeks go for Nick Walker, as we are now less than 16 weeks out of this upcoming Pittsburgh Pro. Absolutely love seeing the former Miss Olympia Brendan Carey deciding not to stay in the shadows for this one and giving the bodybuilding world something to talk about. So the one thing that has been the biggest concern for Brendan throughout his competing careers, they are his legs. Brendan today gave another sneak peek of how the quads are looking at less than 6 weeks out of this upcoming Arnold. And it is safe to say that he has been putting a lot of work. That side leg in particular is looking so damn freaky, so detailed. And that's the thing. Brendan might not have the most detailed legs from the side, but they're just so damn huge. And his upper body is so round and so 3D and so aesthetic. That makes Brendan's side chest and side triceps extremely good against anyone in this kind of lineup. So this is another top guy who is aiming to bring a totally different look to this upcoming Arnold stage this time, because he's also working with a new coach for this one. So Brendan is also going for a more detailed look with his new coach, unlike the idea of coming in so much full that it would just blur out all the definition that Brendan Carey has. So just look at Carey's physique from the Olympia 2022, which was the biggest physique he brought to the Olympia stage. Now, if only he had more detail at that size, he would have been fighting for that Miss Olympia title again. So Brendan knows he isn't gonna outmuscle a guy like Samson Dauda or Andrew Jack. So he has to bring a more detailed package, and he has to play to his strengths. Now, if this is Brendan's last year as a competitive pro, he's aiming to go out with a bang, and that doesn't necessarily mean winning big shows. That means beating his personal best at the age of 42. So everyone was talking about Carlos Thomas Jr. in these past few weeks, since he dropped some new mind-blowing updates. But we kept on hearing, let's see the back before making those wild predictions. So here that is. So Carlos going through the posing practice with his coach Patrick Tour. Now one thing we can say about Carlos after watching this picture is that the only weak pose that he is probably gonna have at this upcoming Arnold, that is gonna be the back double biceps. Because I believe there is gonna be some good width and some density in that rear lat spread. And we can see that right there. And with him most likely bringing his best conditioning with his new coach Patrick, he's gonna look a lot bigger on the stage. Now Carlos will be massively disappointed if he is unable to crack top 4 in his first ever Arnold. Now some would say he's being delusional, but that is his mindset right now. And I think we can all agree the man has a very unique looking physique. He's pretty much filled out, from the front as well as from the side. And the one and the only pro show that he did, that was Texas Pro back in 2023. Now he wasn't even close to the level of detail that guys like Andrew Jack or Hunter Labrada brought to that Texas Pro stage. And still, the man was able to place third. Now this is a totally new belt, and I believe he is going to be very dangerous at this upcoming Arnold. But do let me know what you guys think. How high did you guys have Carlos placing at this upcoming Arnold Classic? And also hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.